Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is Take 45. And I know I'm running a bit late, but I did some essential shopping with my mom this morning. And that's part of what I am going to talk about today. While I was in the store, I found a farmer's almanac. And it made me start thinking again, and I was talking about how gardening is a good tool to use. And while I was in the grocery store, I found a farmer's almanac. So maybe I'll show it to you. The Farmer's Almanac, oh, I got to turn it around. Boy, I'm asleep today. So I found the Farmer's Almanac in the grocery store. And what's kind of interesting is I was looking through it, and it'll actually give you ideas of like frost and growing season. Hi, John Clark. And it gives you ideas of like where you're located and when your last spring frost is so that you can start gardening. So I kind of thought this was an interesting book. I've heard my parents and grandparents talk about the Farmer's Almanac all my life, and I just was never interested in it. So today when I was at the grocery store, I picked up the Farmer's Almanac, and then when I came home here, I did a little bit of research on gardening, and are there any studies that support better health through gardening? And interestingly, I found a study in Science Digest that goes back to 2016, and it talks about how horticulture therapy has been tested on control and treatment groups, and it has been found to help people. And what they found is working with nature and growing a garden actually helped in these tests. It helped reduce depression, anxiety, BMI, sense of community, and quality of life for the groups of people tested. And in the Science Digest article, it talked about that these testings were done with people in the US, Norway, Japan, Iran, Korea, Netherlands, UK. So there's been testing done on this. And they're finding that so many of us live in urban communities now that if we aren't finding our outlets, and gardening being an outlet, they're finding that those in urban communities are living higher fat, sedentary lives. We have social and psychological stress and environmental pollution. None of these things are going to come as a surprise to any of us, but it made me start looking into it a little bit more. And it said we only need a small garden. You know, there's container gardens. One of the girls from my group is starting a container garden YouTube channel. So once she is up and running, I'll share that on my page. I do some container gardening. I've been looking at ways that I'm going to do a raised garden, but I'm going to use cinder blocks and kind of build up the dirt around my garage base, because there is exposed cement, and that's not always a good thing. But I started like looking in to see also how long does it take? Hi, Miss Maria. But how long does it take for fruits and vegetables to be produced? And I found that for the most part, many fruits and vegetables will produce fruit within 70 to 120 days. And again, a lot of like here in these northern communities, it says by May, probably about May 9th, close to Miss Maria's birthday. But it will be, actually Jessica's too, it will be time to start our gardens in these northern communities. But what I wanted to share is my grandparents were gardeners. They were farmers. I had a grandparent that actually owned a 140-acre farm in the South. And they always tried to impress upon me the importance of being connected to nature for my entire life. And I didn't always find the time to do it. And I know I've told you before that one of my grandmothers would sit us outside and she would ask us questions so that we would connect to, you know, what are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? And then my other grandmother would work with us on four-leaf clovers. But I'm finding such satisfaction from gardening and from connecting, and I almost feel a connection to them and visiting the things that they once did. And finding out that there are studies that were performed back in 2016 throughout all parts of this world, that gardening is therapeutic. It will help you. It will help you. Here's another one. Hi, Miss Karen. She's got an amazing garden. I think following them was part of what got me going. But the idea of gardening the idea of connecting with nature, the idea of finding stress and reducing anxieties and that sense of community, it's helpful and healthy all the way around. So if you can find even just a container garden or a way to spend some time outside, there's vitamin D, there's benefits all the way around that we can gain. And I just found it very interesting that the Science Digest actually has done studies and found that gardening with controlled and treatment groups was found to be beneficial. And we're talking 70 to 120 days. So we're talking just a few months and you can produce fruit. So maybe it's something you want to give a try, and who knows, maybe I'll have more information to share as I finish reading this Farmer's Almanac. And just as a reminder, I started this garden from things purchased that I wanted to cut the bottoms off and see if they could grow. And check out that there's potatoes and lettuce in here, but already more than 12 inches is grown in probably about 2 to 3 weeks. But again, I just want to say thank you for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and maybe start to plan. I'm going to start to take a look at what I'm going to plant this year. I hope that you enjoy this, and if there's any great tips in this Little Farmer's Almanac, I'll share them with you later. Have a beautiful Sunday, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.